Okay. Well, it looked like the LinkedIn Live could not work, so I'm
Did you hear me?
connecting to Facebook right now. This is today's course is
Yes,
going
we
to
do.
be on creating your
We
online
do. We,
course.
we deliver curbside delivery 75 to bring it in, hook it up, and everything. It starts at 125.
Okay. Well,
We
I'm
are
glad
same
to hear
day
that you have a
delivery
successful business.
most times.
I'm sorry, what was that?
Till 5:30.
Okay.
Yeah,
Well,
Monday through
anyway, we're going to
Saturday.
go ahead and get started. This is a meetup group that's
You
also
do.
going to be. It's also a Facebook Live on how to create your own online courses. So just to share a little bit about our program, I'm going to go ahead and share my screen for a moment so that you can see some of our slides.
Okay. Well, I can send you a picture of it, and if you want, we can kind of coordinate everything remotely. We can send an invoice, or you can pay.
Okay, so I think he was one of our guests was on another call. So let's go ahead and just do a little bit of a share of our program. So right now, this is the small business owners meetup group that's also going to be on Facebook Live as well as LinkedIn Lives at other times. We meet on Tuesday. Right now, we're no longer doing every Tuesday. We'll be doing every other Tuesday. This is normally between 3 and 4:30 p.m. Eastern, which translates to between 12 and 1:30 p.m. Pacific. To find more information about our free online training courses, you can go to meetup.com/small-business-owners. Since I'm already sharing my screen, let me go ahead and show that to you as well. So this is our meetup group. Actually, that is not. This is our meetup group for the small business owners. Again, that's meetup.com small-business-owners. We have this is our 22nd course that we have recorded. Everything that we record in these free trainings are actually part of our website. On our website, we have an area known as the classroom. This is where we put all of our future events that are coming up, and to give you some more information on that. As you can see on here, this is actually from 2 weeks ago, and once the courses are actually recorded, we actually load them to our training platform, and everything you can see that we have on there is going to be under our previous events for the classroom. This one will be on there. Will be on our web on the inside the classroom here in about 1 or 2 business days. So today being Tuesday, should be up there by Thursday morning. The classroom itself is a membership platform. We do charge like $17 per month. We have 22 courses from these are all the courses that we have on there right now, and as you can see, these are very highly educational courses. Today, we're going to be going through creating your first online course. And this is going to be a pretty intensive training. So just to let you know a little bit more about me, our company is called the Optimal Performance Academy, and I created this back in May of 2022 to help entrepreneurs with their education, to help them actually train more, as well as to be able to get some coaching, consulting, and things like that inside their businesses. And I'm going to keep an eye on the Facebook Live to see if anybody leaves a comment or anything along those lines, so I can make sure I do answer people's questions in real time. We do also offer offer consulting. So these are the types of people these are the types of programs that we have. We also these are the types of people who we work with. We work with realtors, solopreneurs and entrepreneurs, coaches and consultants, and then we also have some business affiliates. I do tend to write at least one blog a month that will be seen on our blog platform here as well. And then we have our calendar events. That's for all of our events, including our workshops and webinars that we have coming up. We have our next webinar coming up on this upcoming Thursday. It's going to be at 3 o'clock. You will be able to see it under our calendar of events. You'll also be able to see it on LinkedIn as well. And then we are also on getting on a lot of different podcasts. So under the media tab, you will see direct links to some of the podcasts that I've recently been on. And I am going to be on a few more coming up this week. So I will let you guys know about that as well. So let's go ahead and finish our slideshow. I'm going to skip that one. Now, this is if you want to be notified of the upcoming Tuesday events, just go to our website at optimalperformanceacademy.org/Tuesday. And then I'd already talked about the classroom where we're just in there, or you can just go again to optimalperformanceacademy.org/classroom. And that's the webinar that we had last week. We'll be covering something very similar to that one this upcoming week. This one is called the 3 Massive Mistakes Entrepreneurs Make That Cause Them to Fail. We also have all of our curriculum. So this is going to be under optimalperformanceacademy.org curriculum. So going back to all of our online courses, let's see here, I have to scroll up. And under training, under curriculum, all of our online courses are here. We've got 7 different tracks right now of different classes. Some of the classes do overlap into different tracks. But right now, those are the 7 tracks. And then we have other courses as well. We have the roadmap for business success right there, which is currently free. Just click on the learn more button or get now for $0. And you'll be taken to a landing page so we can be able to send you that course to you. We have other courses like Life's Little Lessons podcast. This was 59 entrepreneurs that I interviewed from across the world over the course of 2017 and 2018. We have that up there. And then we have other specialty classes that are available. Now, the one today, the one's creating your first online course. This is actually going to be we're going to go all the way to the bottom. This is going to be covering a lot of the stuff in my most expensive course, which is called an Online Program Creator. This one is for $597. You can click on here to learn more. But if you stay tuned for this entire, basically it's probably about an hour long a training, which is interactive. So please do reply if you've got something to say. Or if you have any questions. So we're going to go ahead and dive into this. I believe that is the last slide. Well, we talked about the calendar. We do have a workshop coming up in October. So just contact us for more information about that. And then this is some of the topics that we'll be covering. It is a full 8-hour event. We do take breaks and we'll have a lunch break. So that's all the slides that I got one more. Yes, for those of you that attend this meeting, I do I do offer a free 30-minute discovery session. So just go to our platform right there, or just go to letsmeet.io/optimalperformanceacademy/discovery. And then we're going to ask you to talk to you about leaving us a review if you enjoyed the information that you learned from this training. So what I want to do is go ahead and get started. So let me go ahead and start taking some notes out for you guys. So I want to make sure that you get all the information that you can out of this training. So I opened up the wrong thing. I'm going to go to Microsoft Word, not Outlook. And let's go ahead and look at this. So the first thing I'm going to talk about are there's 4 types of courses that you can have whenever you're wanting to create an online course. So those 4 types of courses, there are other types that you can use, but I feel that there are going to be mainly 4 different types of courses. I'm going to share my screen with you. And essentially, this is going to be the first one that we're going to be talking about is one that is known as a bobbing head. Yeah, I don't know where the slide is not showing up. Okay, so the first one is what I call the bobbing head. The bobbing head is when you're actually talking into the camera and you're actually recording yourself. So this is usually kind of like what I'm doing right now, where I'm up in the top right-hand corner, where I'm just talking, my head is just training. So those kinds of courses are basically just you teaching to the other person that is there watching you. The second type of course or kind of course that you can create is what I call the screen share. This is where you're going to be sharing your screen. This is where you're going to be going over something, and then like you're showing them how to play a video game or how to do something on a piece of software program. So these are very, very important, because I know I watch a lot of these. If I don't know how to do something, I will go and find a YouTube video where they're showing this, they're seeing in real time how to actually do that. In all actuality, somebody told me a couple of days ago about Google Analytics 4 needs to be updated on your website, and I was trying to figure out how to do it not only on Google Analytics, but get that code so I can put it on my WordPress website to make my website better as far as AI is concerned. So doing a screen share is a great way of how you can create an online course. The third type is one, this is a pretty broad one. This is what I call the on stage. This is where you're standing in front of the camera, usually not just this close where you're looking into the camcorder itself, and you're sitting at your desk. This could be where you're like in front of a whiteboard. He's showing them how to do, say, a math problem, or like this guy here, he's talking to a group of people, and maybe the camcorder is going to be in the background somewhere where it's actually recording him on action. So the on stage is anything where you're in front of the camera, usually a little bit further away. You can see more of your body, and it could even be where you're actually very far away, where, like, say, you're recording yourself from the back of a room of maybe 100 people, 200 people, 300 people, and you're doing your education there. And the fourth way is one that I often use. It can sometimes be confused with the screen share, and this is what I call the slideshow. The slideshow is like a PowerPoint presentation. So you go and create a PowerPoint presentation, and you're talking over the slides as they are, or as they're being conducted, or as you're pressing the button and you're giving the information on that. With that being said, this is the one that's going to be usually a lot more scripted. It's going to be one where people are where you actually write something out, and you're going to be hitting bullet points, or you're reading an exact script. Now, this is how I did most of my first few programs that I created, including the one called the Online Program Creator. And we're going to be going through a lot of those slides as we go through this. As we go through this training. Now, if you guys have any kind of questions, please put it in the chat on either the Zoom chat or on the chat on Facebook, and I will try to answer your questions there. Now, those are the four types of courses. And let me type that in. The next thing is, whenever you're creating an online course, the first thing that you're going to be needing to do is you need to come up with a script or topics. Now, when you're writing your script or writing your topics, the thing is, you want to get your thoughts organized so that you can get things together. Now, with the invention of ChatGPT, that could actually be used quite easily as something where you can use that to come up with your bullet points or your topics that you're going to be talking about for each of your lessons. Now, when you let me take a side step from there. Whenever you are creating whenever you're coming up with your course, the thing is, you're not going to be creating this as one, in most cases, as one training. You're going to usually be coming up with this in multiple trainings. What this means is you want to have basically different lessons that's going to be talking about different topics. So if you're going to be talking like what I'm doing right here, where I'm about to go into the four types of courses could have been actually just one lesson inside of a section, and then you move into the next lesson, and then to the next lesson. You record these as separate videos. Now, you could just record one and splice it up, but if you really want to get better interaction, you're going to want to actually have a natural pause where you could be saying something like, well, that's it for the four types of courses, and then the next lesson we're going to cover blank, whatever that lesson is, and then that's how you can separate them. And then at the very beginning of each lesson, you could be introducing yourself and the name of the topic, the name of your company, or the purpose of that course. So let's go ahead and show you an example. Now, here's my online program creator. Here is the actual course itself. I'm going to go back inside. So I'm going to go back inside. And we will see that we have our our course descriptions down here. I've got a shorter version of it, and then I will see that I have everything broken down, in this case, into 6 different sections. And then I have my introduction where I'm talking about the 3 different lessons. Now, with that being said, let's go ahead and open up what is a program. Here is the lesson description, and then these are the slides, the handouts, and the audios that went with it, and then the final video. And I'll talk to you more about the namings of a video at a later time. So anyway, you just break down your sections and your lessons. Now, as you can see here, that I'm actually fairly organized. And the thing is, what I would recommend to you guys is when you're coming up with your courses, before you create anything, you come up with your sections, which is going to be the block of lessons, and then the lesson that's going to be going into that block. Now, depending on the platform that you're going to be hosting your program on, will depend upon, could depend upon how you name these things. These could be chapters, lessons. This could be sections, lessons like I use, or it could be however you want. Most of those platforms do allow you to rename the type of a label that you want to use. However, there are going, for the most part, they're only going to allow you to have a main block and then all the lessons going into that block. You're not going to be able to do go inside like multiple levels. Usually we're going to have the section level and the lesson level. And we'll show you that when we get to that part of this training. So anyway, I'm going to go ahead and show you one of my scripts. So this is for the for section 1, lesson 2. I'm going to open up my script, and what I did was for these trainings, I wrote an actual verbatim script. And then I wrote this out, and then I created the slides, and we'll show you that in a little while. I will show you that. Whenever I'm reading this is the slide that you will be seeing. And then I'll go to the next line. So I'll read this, and this is the slide that you're going to be seeing. All of this is going to be done in post-production, and we'll talk about that also later on. But right now, I'm just talking about writing out your script or writing out your bullet points that you want to be doing. Now, again, this program that you see in front of you is a slideshow a type of training. The one that I'm giving now is more of a bobbing head and screen share style of training. So let's go ahead and move on. Now, in my notes, this is where I'm also going to be talking about naming your files. Now, this is going to be the different programs. So I've got section 1 here, which is the introduction inside this course. I've got section 2, getting started. These are going to be the titles that I'm going to be using on the platform that I'm going to be on. And also, these are going to be the name of the lesson. So I'll have everything on my computer to look exactly like it's going to look on the platform that I'm going to be training on. This just helps you to keep yourself organized, as well as just so in case you got to go and change something. Let's say, for an example, a new technology came up, and because I need to go change this lesson, you can easily find it on your computer if you're organized. If you just have everything all over the place, then that's going to be making it a lot more difficult for you to actually find your material in case you need to do any updates. Now we're going to go into, let's go ahead and go into the different platforms that you can be hosting your training on. Now, there are 5 that I'm going to be talking about. There are plenty others that you can use, but these are some of the 5 that I've actually either investigated or have some experience with. Now, the one that I use is one that's called Customer Hub. That's at customerhub.com. So I'll put that in the notes. Platforms. Goes customerhub.com. And I'm going to show you how this looks. So I'm going to go ahead and log in. And I'm going to go over here to my courses. So here are all of my courses. I've got 18 courses at the time of this recording, and then I've got some bundles and other stuff as well. So let's go ahead and go into Online Program Creator. So this is the course right here. As I open it up, you will see I have introduction, and then I have my lesson. If I wanted to add something new, you can see I can add a new page, or a new page or a new section, and then I can make this a welcome page, a lesson, whatever. So you see, I cannot go anything deeper than lessons. This only goes to two different levels. So this is how that structure is. And then inside here, I can design how I want the video to appear, any text, anything that I want to share, like any PDFs, downloads, or anything like that. So this is how the Customer Hub looks. As you can see, it looks very similar to how how things will look on your laptop or your computer. Another platform that you can use, because most people probably have not heard of Customer Hub, but another one that you can use is called Kajabi. It's kajabi.com. Now, I am not a member on that platform, but that is one that is very common. However, I do work with people that have courses on that platform, and I'm going to show you why. One of the reasons I actually avoid a Kajabi. You'll see, like, here's Brendan Bouchard, here's some other people that may be fairly famous that actually use this platform. But there's a gentleman that I work with. His name is Ted McGrath. And I'm going to go and log into his platform. Now, he is on Kajabi. And this is the reason I kind of don't like it. So whenever I signed up for his program, he's got a lot of programs. As you can see, I have 18. If you're going to have a lot of programs, then you may want to think of something other than Kajabi. If you want to have one or two or three main programs, then this one may be okay for you. The reason I don't like it is that there is no search bar feature. So this gentleman here, he's got 6 programs on this first page, but you will notice he has 44 pages of material. So if I was looking for a specific course that he was selling or that I wanted to review, I have to go through each and every page to find it because there is no search bar. This is the main reason I don't like Kajabi, is because if you have a lot of programs, things can get lost in that material. Now, for him, he doesn't have 44 times 6, which is like 240 programs. He's got a few main programs, and then he's using some of these as what is known as a lead magnet. These are small programs that he uses that or gives away for free so that he can attract you into one of his larger programs. This is why he has so many. Another platform that you can actually use is called Teachable. That's www.teachable.com. Now, this is a platform I've not used at all. I don't have any experience with it. However, this is another platform that you can use. And oops, that's what it did. So there we go. So Teachable, this is where you can join for free. I don't know their pricing structure. I do know some of these sites do allow you to have, let's say, maybe one program on there. However, I have no experience with this. So I would check to see what your needs are, and then go on here to find out if this is something that might be usable for you. Another one that I like is called Thinkific. I'm going to put that in the chat. So it's going to be on thinkific.com. Now, a lady that I worked with in the past, her name is Colin Rush, and I believe she has her trainings are on Thinkific. So let me go ahead and find out. So the spiral revenue model. So let's log into that one. And so I'm already logged in. I do know she had like 6 courses that were available. But right now she's moved some things around. So you can see this is how Thinkific looks on the background. So that is another program that you can use. And the last one is one that's actually something I have a little bit experience with. It's called LearnDesk, and I've got it right here. So we'll just go ahead and go there. So it's that learndesk.us, www.learndesk.us. Now, for those of you that are trying to go through, get into online courses on a budget, LearnDesk may be a good one to use. What they charge you a one-time fee, and then that's basically it. Now, I believe LearnDesk, Teachable, and Thinkific actually will take a portion of everything that you sell. That's their pricing, or they would charge you a certain per month, and they still may be taking a portion of what you sell. Now, so I have a few courses on here, but this platform is a little clunky. However, there are some benefits for using it as well. So I would say maybe check them out also. Now, I do believe they do give you like a 2-week free trial. I do know Thinkific, or the last time I checked, does give you one free course that you can use. But you have more than one, then you go to the paid version. And again, I don't know anything about Teachable. And Customer Hub also gives you a 2-week free trial, and then they charge you on a monthly basis. The reason I went with this one here with Customer Hub is because of the CRM that I use, which is Keep. It used to be known as Infusionsoft. They work very well together. So if I just give somebody a tag on Keep, the course will automatically unlock for them. So I like that, the ease of use. I don't have to use anything like a Zap from Zapier to try to connect two things in a clunky way. These two are actually integrated extremely well. I can even show it to you. If I go to settings and I scroll down, you will see Keep is actually integrated with, and so it's striped with this platform. So that's one of the reasons why I like this one so much. Now let's get into some of the hardware that you're going to be needing if you're going to be creating an online course. I would leave this up to you to go ahead and write this stuff down, because I'm going to be going through a slideshow here. So these are the slides that are actually from the online program creator. So some of the hardware, this is the physical items that you're going to be needing. One of them is going to be we're going to assume that you have a laptop and internet, or if you're using your cell phone, that you already have these two devices. So I'm making an assumption we're going to ignore you or looking at prices for a laptop or internet. The second thing that you want to make sure you have is good lamps and lighting. You want to make sure that you use whatever light that you can to make sure that you are lit very well. Now, if you don't have enough natural light coming in through the windows or skylights, then you're going to be needing to have your overhead lights and or lamps. But another thing that a lot of people do is they will go in and buy a ring light. A ring light is, you can see if I move my head up and down, you will see I have a ring light behind my laptop, so that making sure that my face is lit as well as possible, so that whenever you're recording, you're going to actually look good on film. Now, I did have priced these before. A ring light can range between, depending on how nice that you want it to be, between $45 and $120. Another thing that you're going to want to make sure that you have is a good microphone. Now, the thing is, people will forgive bad video, but they will not forgive bad audio. If you're coming in and out, if it's scratchy, if it's just bad audio, people will not stay on board. They will actually leave. So what I've done in the very past is the very first microphone that I started using was known as the ATR 2100. Now that version has been upgraded since I bought it. So now they have the ATR 2100X. Now you can get these things fairly inexpensively. Now also the ATR 2100 may or may not come with a small tripod. If it doesn't, we would suggest that you do get a tripod to hold that microphone in place. Now the cost for an ATR 2100X is between $80 and $100. Now, a similar microphone to the ATR 2100 is known as the Yeti, or some people call it the Blue Yeti. So this is something that is about the same in price. I would assume that the quality is also close to the same. Other people may, if you want to be even a little bit more professional, is to get what's known as a boom arm. As you can see over here on the left-hand side on the bottom, it connects to your desk, and then you can control how the microphone comes in. So you see, in most cases, it's coming in at a slightly downward angle. That's just so that you can have the best quality sound. A boom arm can range between $140 to $180. The next thing you want to take a look at is possibly also getting what is known as a pop screen. Now, a pop screen, excuse me, is for those of you who want to have a good audio and you don't want to get all those little pops that comes out of your mouth whenever you're breathing or when you're saying certain letters of the alphabet. So as an example, I usually ask people say, hold your hand in front of your mouth and say, hey, I like this. And you won't feel anything. But if you go and say Peter Piper picked a peck of pickled peppers, you will feel the air hitting your hand. So that comes up in a few words. And for people that are listening to audio, they'll be hearing you talk, and they'll hear that because your breath or is projecting directly onto the microphone. This thing here is to actually catch that breath so that it does not interfere with your microphone. And we just talked about that. The letters that we hear the most often are going to be your P's and your V's. These are the ones that usually require you making that puff sound. Now, a good pop screen is not that expensive. It's only like a $10 to $30. And another thing you may want to invest, this is more of a luxury item. This is not a required item, is a thing known as a dead cat. Now, a dead cat basically is just to cover the microphone, especially if you're going to be outside. So this helps cuts down on wind and other types of things where the air is brushing across the microphone. Because this thing has a lot of hair on it, so it has a lot of surface area. And because it looks like a dead cat, that's why they call it the industry a dead cat. And those go for like between $15 and $50. The next thing is you want to have a tripod. Now, this is different than from the microphone. This is going to be the one that's going to be, if you're going to be doing like the on-stage version, or if you could be doing the mainly the on-stage version, because the screen share you won't need it. The slideshow you won't need it, as well as the bobbing head you don't need it, because the bobbing head you're usually using your camcorder. Now, if you are going to be recording, like say with your cell phone, then yes, you would definitely need a tripod. Notice also that cell phone is being held in place by that little gray thing or white thing that is known as a tripod holder. Now, another little luxury item is having this little button thing here. And this is where you can start recording video or taking pictures remotely. So you can be a few feet away and be able to do the recordings. Now, a tripod usually runs between $20 and $40 and not that expensive. They can range in height between, like, say, 5 feet and over 6 feet at full extension. And we just mentioned about the tripod holder mount. Usually a tripod, and these days come with one of these. If they don't, then you need to get one separately. And those run for about $10. They're really, really inexpensive. And as you can see, that thing it can be stretched out and will spring closed. And that way you can have multiple different sizes of phones inside there. I know, for an example, for my cell phone, when I have the big rubber, the soft rubber casing on it, it does not fit in my tripod holder. So I have to physically take off the rubber, the soft rubber one, so that it fits inside the hard rubber case. We talked about that. We already talked about a mini tripod. This is a mini tripod that you can use for your cell phone. So this is something where, in case you were in a room and you don't want to stand out too much as far as your recording is concerned, you can buy a mini tripod and put it on top of a desk. So that thing is only going to be maybe 6 inches tall, and is great for shooting things that are a little bit more privately or indiscriminately. The mini tripod can run between like $20 and $30. Now, there is another kind of a mini tripod called a Joby tripod. Now, as you can see from that picture, that Joby has articulated legs. That's what those little round things mean. So that means those legs can be bent into any kind of shape. And essentially what that means is, let's say, for example, you're outside. I've used one before, and I wrapped the legs around a chain link fence. And then I was able to record while I was at a football stadium, some videos. So a Joby tripod is an optional type of tripod that you may want to consider, especially if you could be doing things like, let's say, that are outside or at sporting events or something along those lines. And those run about $30. And I did not want to put that one on the card with all the other prices, because this is a very optional one. The next thing you also want to consider is having a wired lavalier microphone. Now, these are the ones that I've used for years. Essentially, what I'm doing is, because I'm trying to get the audio to be as close to my mouth as possible, so I'm not getting that echo from trying to record from across the room. The one that I have is about 12 or 15 feet long. It has a clip that connects the microphone to your shirt. And then it also has a little power piece here as well. Now, since you can most likely be using this on your cell phone, you want to make sure that you have probably an audio or mini audio jack going into your cell phone for the microphone. Don't buy the one with a USB cable, because that's not going to fit into your cell phone. And let's go to the next one. As you can see, this is me doing a recording, and on my black shirt, can barely see, but in that little red circle is the lavalier microphone. And normally what I do is the wire will come up to my neck and then down, instead of it dangling in front of me. Now, another thing that happens a lot is when women who are doing audio recordings, when they have these big, large earrings. The thing with that is those things will cause noise that you do not hear, but the microphone will pick up. It will give you. It's going to become an editing nightmare to try to fix all of that. So the lavalier microphone, it runs between like $20 and $50. And then there's also the optional, the wireless microphone. Now, the wireless is perfect because you can actually stand further away. You don't have to worry about any kinds of wires. And let me show you an example of a wired microphone. So I got to turn the sound on first, in order so you can hear it. So I share sound. And you may hear an echo because the audio may be picking it up on the microphone as well. But let me go ahead and do that. Hide these. Yeah. And
nothing's playing at the moment.
So here we go. This is me outside. I'm about 50 feet away from the camera.
Hello, this is Kevin Dunlap, and I want to tell you a little bit more about how these wireless microphones work. As you can see, you can be a very few feet away. Like in my case, I'm probably about 40 or 50 feet away. And this is the microphone picking up the audio very, very well, even at this.
As you can hear, let me go ahead and cancel that audio. So as you can hear, I was several feet away, and I was still able to record myself. So I was able to record sound from a distance. So that becomes very important if you're going to be doing anything outside, or if you're going to be doing anything on stage. And there are different types. Now, these can run between $150 to $200. These are the professional one. The one that you saw me wear, that was that you just saw the video. That one was about $40 or $50 on Amazon. So you can get them for a fairly inexpensive price. Now, another thing I do recommend is getting a headset. And when you're editing audio, you want to get the best sound possible. Now, this is optional, but I do highly recommend it. And when I'm saying a headset, I mean an over-the-ear headset, not one that's just plugs into your ear. This is because you want to be able to cancel out other noise, and when you're editing, you want to make sure you get all those minute noises taken care of, because you never know how the person who's going to be listening to your course, how they're going to be hearing it. Are they going to be hearing it through microphones, through speakers, or are they going to be hearing it through earbuds or something like even more professional? So make sure you want to try to get the best quality product that you can. Now, when I was doing my videos, you can see right there, I was wearing a headset. This is when I was doing my podcast. I was interviewing this lady here. Her name is Sabrina. And it was just, making sure that I was hearing very well. And also here's an example of an audio editing software. And here you will see that there is a little bit of a scrunchy noise there. That's not a straight line. That is going to be noise that you may not want, and you may not be able to pick it up if you weren't wearing that over the ear headset. So the Logitech headphones, they run between 20 and 40 bucks. And here's an example of my office from before. You'll see I've got the microphone on the left-hand side. I've got the pop screen in front of it. I've got my ring light there. I've got my laptop where I'm actually, this is editing a video. Over here is my second. Okay, so I'm going to let Brian in. And over here on the right is my second monitor. I'm going to be talking about in a moment. That is on a stand. Of course, I've got a little light to be able to see by, and you even see with the ring light below that we have that is on a stand. And then I've got my headset here on the far left. So this is what when I was recording my courses, what it looked like. And welcome, Brian. This is a course on creating an online course. We are about 45 minutes in. You can interrupt, ask questions at any time that you like. And also just to let you know, this is also a Facebook Live going on right now. But anyway, getting back to the content, one of the things I recommend is having a portable monitor. Now, this is a monitor on being held up by its carrying case. This monitor is extremely light. I mean, it is about as light as paper. It's very, very light, and it's also very portable. Now, for the stand, instead of using the carrying case, I use what's called a Tri-Pro tablet stand. This thing does pivot. It can go up and down and pivot in and out. So you can see it can be put at the perfect level. Now, the funny thing is this tripod stand is probably 2 to 3 times as heavy as the monitor. So even though it's smaller, it is a lot heavier. So the Asus monitor runs about $150, and then the Tri-Pro stand is an additional 25 bucks. Now, some of you may want to get a desktop monitor. That is up to you. That is your own personal preference. I know they run starting about $150 and go higher from there. Depending on what you're trying to do, I would at least recommend having at least one additional monitor. And those can start at $150 and go higher. Now, here's the problem that most people may not even think of. You've got all of these devices that are going to be plugging into your computer. They're all going to be plugging into your USB port. Depending on how new your computer is, you're going to be limited to the number of USB cables to plug in. So I know my previous laptop that I had over a year ago, I had 3 USB ports. My current laptop has only 1 USB port. So how do I solve the problem with all these microphones being plugged in, the lights being plugged in, the monitor being plugged in, my printer that I didn't even talk about is being plugged in? There is a natural solution to that. Oh, and this is what I was talking about. These all the things that are going to be plugged in into your computer. So another thing you want to look at is what is known as a docking station. Now, the one that I'm using right now is a 7-port. It has 7 USB connections that can come in, and then it comes out with this one port going into your USB part of your computer. So this is probably one of the things that most people don't even think about having. Now, the price for the docking station typically is about $10 per docking port. That's going to be the average one. So if you're getting a 5-port one, expect it to be like 50 bucks. If you're getting an 8-port, it's going to be approximately 80 bucks. So you can estimate between $10 and $12 per docking port. So this is it right here. This is basically my recording studio. On the left-hand side, see the headset. The docking port is just here above the D. You see it just there. The microphone is there. The pop screen is here. The ring light. Of course, the laptop. The Asus monitor. The Tri-Pro stand. My external speakers is going to be that one there. That's the device that it's plugged into, and there's the other one behind the second monitor. So that is a recording studio. So that's everything that you see that we've covered so far. So are there any questions? You can either unmute yourself or in the chat, ask any questions on anything about the hardware before we go into the software. I'll give you guys a few seconds to be able to unmute yourself or to start typing. Okay, so we're going to go on going into the next section. So that because we've covered so far the 4 types of courses, this creating your script, different platforms that you can host your programs on. Now we're going to get into some of the software. Now, the funny thing is about the software, all of this, you can have a great show and have all of your software that you need and get it all for free. There are upgraded versions of the software, but the ones that I'm going to recommend right now at the time of this recording are all free. So let's go ahead into that. So let's go ahead and go into the software. And so this is the different kind of software that you would definitely want to be taking a look at. And I'll put these in the chat, excuse me, into the notes, and I'll share that at the end of this course. So remember, whenever you're looking at software, you have to know what kind of show are you going to be putting on. Is it going to be a bobbing head where you're just talking into the camcorder on your laptop? Are you just sharing your screen, showing somebody how to do something on your screen? Are you in front of the camera, what I call the on stage, where you are standing in front of a whiteboard, you're on stage somewhere? This is also how you do your how-to videos. If you're going to say, this is how you change a tire, all of those fall into the on stage. And there's the slideshow, which is basically like a screen share where you are actually doing a form of a PowerPoint presentation. Now, I'm going to skip that one. Now, one of the websites that you would definitely want to have is something known as Canva. Canva is at canva.com. Let me actually put the URL in there. And I'm going to assume that all of you guys have had some experience with canva.com. Okay, so Canva, so another one is going to be what's called a Pixlr. www.pixlr.com. Pixlr is where you can go and enhance your photos for free. Now, is an example of a lighthouse. This is the Cape Hatteras. I'm glad, thank you. Of a lighthouse over in the Outer Banks of North Carolina. This was the before picture. This was the after picture. By just going through some things inside of Pixlr, you can see the dramatic difference. You can see how the blues really pop out, how the greens pop out. Now, this picture, I like taking pictures when I'm taking a picture of an item through another item. That's just a little thing that I do. But I just wanted to show you a picture that had some dark and light space where you can actually really enhance that there. Now, I'm not going to get into how to do that at this time because that'd just be too much information. But I do have that in my online program creator that's on our website. Another piece of software is known as Audacity, and that is not. You cannot get it from audacity.com. So let me go ahead and go to how to find Audacity. So let me go ahead and open up our window here. And the best way to find Audacity is to go to AUDACITY, no .com, just Audacity. And you will see this is the website right here. So I'm going to go ahead and see if I can copy this. audacityteam.org. I'll just type it in. Now, this is an audio editing software only. So I don't know what happened there. So this is a free open source, and you can download it from this platform depending on if you have a PC or if you have a Mac. So that's up to you, whichever one is going to be working with you. And we'll go over a little bit of this in just a moment when we get to the editing part of your program. And then the last one outside of Audacity is going to be something known as DaVinci Resolve. I just discovered a DaVinci Resolve maybe 9 or 10 months ago, and I started doing my courses over a year ago. So I will show you where to go to get this. Again, this is not one that you can just go to directly. DaVinci Resolve 18, and it's going to be at blackmagicdesign.com. So let me go ahead and DaVinci Resolve Design, Blackmagic Design. Now, what this is a very, very, very powerful video editor. It's the most powerful video editor that I've seen, at least the one that I've seen that works with a PC. Now, if you use iMovie on your Mac, that I know nothing about that. That will be up to you. But you can go down here and get the free download. Do not download the beta version because I found some errors in that. So stick with the number that is not. I think it's 18.2 or 18.3 that they're on right now. And I'll be showing you how that works in just a moment. So this is your movie editor. Another one is that you may want to have is PowerPoint, which is it's going to be part of your computer stuff. Another one that comes automatically on the newer computers is known as a snipping tool. Now the snipping tool, if you can see my bottom screen down here, you will see I've got the snipping tool right there. I've got Chrome, I've got Audacity, I've got DaVinci Resolve, I've got this one here I'll talk about in a moment, and I'll be talking about that in a moment. The next one after that is MS Paint. Again, these are going to be a part of your PC already. PowerPoint, you may have to, that one you may have to buy depending on how soon that you bought your computer. Now, I'm going to go ahead and mention the last one. It's called Handbrake. Now, I just started using Handbrake maybe 4 or 5 months ago. And what this thing does is that it's going to, whenever you are creating your online course, your video files are going to be huge. Handbrake reduces the size of the file. So it makes it more compressed. It still has the same quality video and same quality sound. It's just a much smaller file size. So when you're trying to upload your programs to like Customer Hub or Thinkific or Teachable, these sometimes the files may be too big that they may actually get rejected. That happened to me several times, especially on these trainings, which is part of the classroom, because these can be like an hour and a half long for one video. So I actually have to go and once I'm done with any video editing that I do, I then have to go into a Handbrake to reduce the file size, just to make sure that it does work. So Handbrake is another one as well, and I believe Handbrake is handbrake.com, but let me verify that and not just assume. Handbrake.fr. Okay. Okay, but I didn't assume. So these are the software that you're going to be needing. So the only one here that you might be paying for is PowerPoint, depending on how old your computer is. But everything else is going to be free. MS Paint and snipping tool will most likely be, if you've got a newer computer, those will be part of your thing. Now, I don't know if you guys know what snipping tool is, but snipping tool is where you can do a screen capture or a screen video. Where you're recording your screen and you're saying something. So I like using it like if I'm going to be needing to take a picture of my computer because I'm going to be showing something, and like you saw with the image of me with the lavalier microphone on, I was actually had to pause the video, use snipping tool, took that picture, that screenshot, then went to MS Paint to put in the little red circle and the red arrow for the that we showed just a little bit ago. So now that's pretty much it as far as no, actually here are some more tools that you can use as well. If you're going to be recording like the bobbing head, you can use Zoom. Now, Zoom does have a free account if you are just going to be recording yourself, so you can record that. Or if you want to go with a paid version, so you can have guests or things like that, you can also get that as well. And then one other one you may want to look at is called Convertio. Convert.io. Now, if you're using Microsoft Chrome, Convert.io is that little red circle with the two white arrows up there. This is an extension, but all the extension does is it's going to redirect you to their website. So what you can do is convert to, you can convert a video file from one file format to another file format, or if you can create an image, like say I want to go from a GIF to a JPEG or .png. So you can cross them from one format to another as well. For an example, if you have a video file but you want to turn it into an MP4 for an audio, you can do that as well. So Convertio is a great little program. So let's go ahead and look at it real quick. So here I can go here and choose my files. Let me see about finding a file that might be on my desktop. That's a video. Let me minimize some things because I know I have some files. Actually, here we go. We can use these files here. So let me say I'm going to go and get this file here, and I'm going to move that over. So it's got 56.jpg, and let's say I want to convert it over to it's already a .jpg. So let me go ahead and switch it over to a TIFF file for whatever reason. So I can go and do that, hit the big red convert button, and within a few moments it's uploading. And you see it's converting now, and then it's going to say that I can download, and I'll be able to get it over here on the right-hand side. So I'm going to hit the download button. It's right there, and you can see that was 56.jpg. Now it's 56.tiff. So I now have the file available. So that is a great program that you can use if things are not compatible. Now I did just convert one video from an older video format from before that would not load up. So I went inside here and converted it, the old format, into an MP3 so that I could actually use it. So that, I believe that is it for the software and the websites. So now one of the things I'm going to cover is how to use Audacity. I'm going to do this very quickly, as well as how to use DaVinci Resolve. And we're going to do that one very quickly. If you need more information, you can Google this or YouTube this. Or again, we do have our online program creator, which gives a lot more extensive into how to work with audio files and video files. So let's go ahead and open up Audacity. So I'm going to go and open it up, and I'm going to minimize all this other stuff because I don't need it right now. And it appeared on my other monitor. So this is Audacity. So whenever you're recording in Audacity, this is audio files only. So you can, you set your settings, and then the main thing is you want to just hit this red record button, and then you just start speaking into the microphone. If you have a script that you're reading, you're just going to be reading your script. Now, if, for example, if you're reading a script and you mess up, my suggestion is to just to start all over again. Sometimes, if you want to be a little bit more a little bit better at your recording, is that whenever you mess up is to make a loud noise or like a clap that you can do. That will be. I got to run. Thanks for hosting. Okay, so we lost Brian. So let's say you're actually recording, and then you make a mistake. You want to make a loud noise, and normally what I do is I would do 3 claps. I would go, so before I'm going to start my next recording, I'm going to go. And what that's going to do is going to give you an audio spike. And when you're editing, you can find you can find that, hey, there's that audio spike. Then that means that the stuff that came on before was actually a mistake. So that way it makes your editing a little bit easier when you're recording. So I'm going to record a little bit right now, and then we'll do a playback. Hello, this is Kevin Dunlap with Optimal Performance Academy, and today we're going to be talking about creating your first online course. So let's get started. So you heard that. So right here, if I were to go back and share sound, and when I play that part, if I had my headphones on, I would actually hear, this is most likely me taking my breath in. So if I'm going to, I'll play that again. So I may not want that in my audio. So when we're editing, there's essentially 4 things that you're going to be doing. So now remember this, if you're doing a screen share, excuse me, if you're doing a slideshow, there's a good chance you're recording your audio here in Audacity, and then you're going to combine it later on. So what I can do here is what I normally recommend, what people do when they're editing audio, is to go and get about a 1/4 second to a 1/2 second of complete silence. Now, there are basically 2 buttons that you're going to be become very familiar with. It's going to be this one right here. It's where you see a little flat line, a wavy line, and a flat line. What that means is what I'm highlighting is that will be capped, and everything else in the audio will be silenced. Or I will go here and it will say whatever I got highlighted is going to become silence. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and hit that, and now that is going to be silenced. Now so I'm now going to hit Control C to copy, and now I just copied into my memory that 1/2 second of silence. So when you're editing your video, your audio, that's essentially what you're going to be doing. Is if you see something that's unwanted, you're either going to go and highlight it and say, hey, I don't want that. I'm going to go and just I can hit silence and just silence it out. I'm going to hit Control Z to put it back. I can hit Control V to replace it. So that shortens the time frame there. Or I can go up here and just hit the delete button. So those are the 3 main things that you can do. You can either replace with the silence, you can just silence it, or you can delete it. And depending on the pacing of what's going on, that will depend upon what you do. So I'm going to go here because this is probably where it says, let's get started. So let's get started. So I'm going to hit Control V so I can put a space in there. Actually, I'm going to take it out and just start the audio online course. So let's get started. I'm going to do that again. Online course. So let's get started. So let's say for an example, so let's get started. I wanted to put a pause in there. I'm going to put in that pause. And I'm going to go back a little bit further in time and play the same piece. Creating your first online course. So let's get started. So I may say, you know what, I like that pause because it makes the pacing better. And that's what you're going to be doing with your audio. Just you get that 1/4 of the 1/2 second of silence, and then either replace it, silence it, or delete it. And it all is depending upon your pacing. Now, whenever you get done, the first thing I'm going to say that you want to do is you want to go ahead and export your file. You don't save it, you export it, and it's up to you if you want to use WAV or MP3. That is your own personal preference, and also depends on what it is that you're going to be doing. So what I normally do, I'm going to go back to the actual online program creator. I'm going to go into one of my things. I said the software one. I go into audio, and what I normally do is I'm going to actually save it as an audio file. I'll call it audio1-raw. That's the raw material in there. Then what you're going to want to do is you want to go in here and it's up to you, what you're going to be doing, but you'll be doing some different effects like a volume compressing and amplify. Amplify is probably the first thing that you will be wanting to do. So you want to make sure you click that you clicked everything, go to effects, and go to amplify. Each time that you do this at any recordings, that number will be slightly different. So I'm going to hit apply and play this and play this part one more time. So let's get started. So you can see it amplified a little bit. It sounds a little bit different. Now it's up to you if you're going to be doing other kinds of edits, because you can do a normalization, compressors. You can set your limiters, which is your high and low limiters. You can do fading, fade in and fade out. You can do noise removals. And so you've got a whole bunch of different slew of things that you can do. But once I'm done with that, then I'm going to go up here again, File, Export, and I'm going to pick the same one. And essentially at that time, I'm going to call this audio2-content. So I've still got my rare audio, my original raw audio file. Now I've got my enhanced file. If I screw something up, I can always go back to the raw file. This is why I do that. And then after you do everything else, taking out all the breathing, then that could be your final file. So you could have up to 3 files. No, excuse me. This is, I'm sorry, I said that incorrect. This is your raw file. This is the one that you go in, because that's the one you first recorded. This is when you do your content edit, and then this is after you do all of that enhancement. So if you screwed up anywhere along the way, you still have that basically the backup from the previous one. So that's how you that is how you use Audacity. Now let's go into the DaVinci Resolve. I'm not going to say this. So DaVinci Resolve is the video editing program. And this one takes a few moments. Now, if you've got an older computer, DaVinci may not work on your computer. So definitely want to check whenever you get this, that make sure that your computer is compatible. I'm going to go and get rid of the background. And we see we've got a DaVinci Resolve 18. This image changes from time to time. Every time you load, they rotate between like 3 or 5 images. Okay, so whenever you are now, each of these videos, in these cases, these are a little promo videos that I put onto YouTube, and this was the video that you saw a little bit earlier when I was doing the test for being outside. So if you're going to be starting a new project, there's a word that says a new project in the bottom right-hand corner. And I click on that. You're going to have to give this a file name. I'm going to call this a test 12, because I may have other test videos on here. And I'm going to go hit the word create. Now I'm going to only going to give you a very quick introduction into DaVinci Resolve. Depending on what you'll be wanting to do is going to be depending on what you use. So let's go ahead and go back to the software. And let's say I'm going to create a video, and I'm going to do this as a slideshow. So as an example, I'm going to hit, let's say that this is the actual course that I just recorded on Audacity. I've created my my slides on Canva, and now I'm going to hit, actually just highlight everything, and I'm just going to move them over, and I can minimize that, and there you go. So there are all the files there. Now let's also go ahead and move an audio file over, and it doesn't matter which one that we use, so I'm just going to move one over. Now, again, this is how you create a slideshow. Now, at the bottom, this one here, because our menu is at the bottom. So at the bottom here, this is where you're uploading your content. This one here with the 3 lines, this is where you're going to be editing your video. Other stuff is going to be music and other things. I don't really work with these at all. And then whenever you're going to be saving your video, you pick on the rocket ship. Now, just to give you some terminology that is used in the video industry, is that there is no such thing as saving a movie project. It is known as rendering. So whenever you are going to be, whenever you're done and you want to be finished, you're going to be rendering the project. So I just want to make sure that you're aware of that terminology. So I'm going to go ahead here and start to edit. Now you'll see this gray line that's separating the top half and the bottom half. What that is that it's going to put the video on top or image, and the audio will go on the bottom. So if I were to go to the top and say, okay, this is my first video, so I'm going to put it there, and then I'm going to slide over and bring in the audio and put it on the bottom. You will notice that the video, if you have an actual video, it's going to be a light blue in color, or it's going to be green. Now, there's 2 things that you need to be aware of that you're going to be mainly doing. You're either going to be moving things around by holding the left mouse button and using your mouse, or you're going to be doing either what's called a delete, or it's going to be a backspace. Now, there is a huge difference between the 2. If you're only editing one video line and one audio line, then I would say you mainly want to use the delete button. However, if you've got another video that you're also editing at the same time, or another audio, the backspace is the one that you're going to be wanting to use. Now, I'm going to go ahead and delete the. Oops. I didn't mean to do that. Actually, I may be echoing, so let me go ahead and turn off the share sound. Okay. So the beauty of this is I can be, actually, I'm going to turn it back on because I want you to hear what's going on. So right now I'm going to just get rid of this one. So I'm hitting the delete button. Now, the other two buttons that you're going to be needing to be well aware of is this pointer button here and this razor blade. Most everything else is more advanced features. So I'm just going to show you the basic features. So I'm going to hit the play button so you can hear what's being said. Hello and welcome to the course Online Program Creator. My name is Kevin Dunlap and I will. So I'm going to say right. I'm going to actually stretch this slide because I want this slide to maybe end at the beginning of that waypoint. And then I can go in there and bring in the next slide. I can bring it in and just slide it over. And I can make it as long or as short as I'd like. But let's assume I'm going to end it right there at that little spacing of that waypoint. Will be the lead trainer for this lesson. In the last lesson, we covered the hardware items you will need to create an online course. Once you have purchased these items, they will typically last you for several years. So I'm going to go and bring in the next slide. Now, I'm just arbitrarily putting these in here. So this is only to be shown by example. But in this lesson, we're going to be going through some software programs that will make your job a lot easier. So in that case, you can see we still got a lot of spacing because this is a several minute video. In fact, this video is 20 minutes and 5 seconds and that 15 there. Now, one thing I do want to for you to be aware of, whenever you're doing your recordings, is that we all know that there's 60 minutes in an hour. We also know that there's 60 minutes or 60 seconds in a minute. But this last number, where it says 01 and where it says 15, those numbers is what frame number that you're on. And there's 25 frames in a second in a defaulted video. Now, these, of course, these are slides, so it doesn't matter so much. But when you're editing video, the number of frames that you have is also going to be very important whenever you're working with DaVinci Resolve. Now I'm going to show you another thing as well. Whenever you have another video or a slide and you put it on top of that one, you will see that when we come here, is that when we get to this point, since this is in the video 2 line, that one would take precedence. So we will see it change. An online course. Once you have purchased these items. So this is how you can overlap if you're dealing with slides, or if you've got a video and then you want to talk about a slide that you just had, and then the slide will overwrite or overlap or be put on top of the video. Now, if you're doing 2 audios as well, or you've got 2 videos with audios, you can also go solo or mute. The mute is going to be like if you've got a second audio that you're making around with, and you want to mute one so they don't overlap each other. They're talking at the same time. So that there is a mute button there. Now, I'm going to show you the difference between the cut and the delete and the backspace. So I'm going to go ahead and put and cut there. I'm going to cut there as an example. I'm going to go back and get to the pointer, and then I'm going to go and hit the backspace button. What the backspace button does is it deletes or it removes what that you have highlighted, but nothing else happens. So here's the backspace button. You will see that audio file just disappeared. If I hit the Control Z and bring it back, and I go in there and I hit the delete button, you will see things move over to the left. So if you hit that delete button, it could cause things to get messed up, especially if you've got several levels going on. You will see that that one image completely disappeared. So I hit the Control Z, put it back. So this is why you want to be very careful. If you don't have one up there and it's down here, if I hit the delete button, it just moves things to the left. So you're perfectly fine. So that's why you need to know the difference between the delete and the backspace. Now let's assume that this is the final copy. We are completely done. We've got all of our images in there. We got our phase. If you've got music, you're putting music on this level down here, and you're controlling the levels. Let's say that you're now done, and we're going to go over here to the rocket ship. There's only like 3 things that you need to be made aware of. Number 1 is, what are you going to name that file? Now, you saw that we called it test 12 at the beginning. Well, that's just the name of the project. That's not the name of the file. So what I would recommend you do is go ahead and name your file. Listen, for a test right now, we're going to call it, say, JJJ 01.2. I'm going to call it that. Then you're going to hit the browse button. Now, if you're going to be shooting and editing a lot of videos, and I hope that you are, you're going to pick a destination where this JJJ01.2 file is going to reside. I always go into my default videos folder, because once it downloads here, then I will move it to the folder that it was in by the structure that I created. Because if you don't do that, you're constantly going to have to be going up and down on folders. And then when you start a second program, you got to go. It just becomes a lot more confusing. For me, I just like calling it and just putting it right into my videos folder. You already saw this video a moment ago. So I'm going to go ahead and hit save. And now what we're going to do is we've got to go down here and hit this thing that says add to render queue. This is where you need to be made aware of. All these others, QuickTime H2.64, the auto, the resolution is 1920 by 1080. That means it's in portrait mode. If you're trying to record videos for, say, TikTok or something like that, then you would need to flip that to be 1080 by 1920 to be in portrait mode. And then what you do is you add to the render queue. Once I hit add to the render queue, you will see over here on the top right where it says the render queue. So right now, I usually only render 1 at a time. So I'm going to go back for a second and go back to edit. And I'm going to, just for the sake of time, I'm going to take out the rest of that audio, because I don't need a 5-minute or 20-minute thing here. And let's go ahead and stretch that. Till it pops in. Go back here. I already got the JJ01.2. I'm going to go ahead. I'm not going to hit the browse anymore. I'm going to go ahead and hit this, and this will stay the same for every time you do a video. If you change it, it will update to the new one. So I never changed that after I set it the first time that I did it. I'm going to now add it to the render queue now, and then I'm going to hit render 1. It's about done. And now it says that it's ready. Because we're on Zoom, this is that pop-up just popped up. Let's go back to videos, and you will see here's the JJ01.2. I'm going to go ahead and play it. I saved it as I was still in mute mode. So I need to go back, turn off mute. I'm going to go to the video, delete it because it's an error. Go back, and now I'm going to render it a second time. Everything is still the same. I'm just going to add to render queue. This is right now render 1. So I'm making silly mistakes because it shows you that if you make a mistake, you can very easily go back and fix it. Hello, and welcome to the course Online Program Creator. My name is Kevin. So there you have it. You see the finished course. In this case, what I would normally do is I'll go to Control X, and then I'll go to wherever my course is. Like here's the one I created earlier today. Let's say it was in section 2, lesson 3. I would copy and paste it right there. So so you have that. Now, with that being said, I want to go back to my online video, or excuse me, online video program creator program, and I want to show you something as well. Whenever you're going to be loading your program to whatever platform that you have, now they're going to save all of your files into one location. Because of that, you have to think ahead a little bit. So you will see here that for my online program creator, section 2, lesson 1, I called it OPC for online program creator -2 for section 2, .1 for lesson 1 -hardware. If I go to my next program, excuse me, if I go to my next program, my next lesson, you'll see OPC -2.2 software. The reason I'm doing that again is because if I go back to the customer hub and I go to my media files, I believe this is the one, and it will show you here are all my media files on it. They're all in one platform. Here's a program that I call become a self-published author, author-4.01, author-3.24. So this is a very, very large program, and it continues on and on. Now there's 634 on there. So the reason I want to make sure that I know that when I upload it to my platform, that everything's going to be grouped into one folder. I have no control over that. So this is the reason I do a naming structure that's going to be part of what the course is going to be about, and then the section and lesson number. And I can always rename it inside there. But anyway, whenever you're doing your recording, just be aware of that. So I'll hit remove. Now, are there any questions so far? So I'm covering a lot of information. All at one time. And let's go ahead and look at Handbrake. Now, Handbrake we don't need for this file because it is pretty small, but I'll go ahead and show you the example of how to use it. It takes a moment to load, so we'll give it a moment. I've already clicked on it. I'll click on it again, just make sure there it is. I will go inside there. Let me go back to videos, and I could get this video, drag it into there, and then I'll minimize it. And then what I would do is making sure this is 23 seconds long. Everything is signed up right there. It's going to name it the same file, all those J's, the 01.2, and I'll just hit this green button that says start encode, and then it's going to go ahead and give us a status bar in the bottom left-hand corner here, and it says right now it's going to be taking just a few more seconds to resize that. And okay, so that is done. So if I go back to my video files, I can click on this, right mouse click on this one, and go here under properties, and we can see that under details that this one is let me see, what's the size? That this one is 9.16 megabytes originally. So I'll go ahead and cancel out, and this was just a 23-second video. And let's go into properties again here, and now it is 1.05 megabytes. So you can see it knocked it down by nearly 90%. This is why you would definitely want to, especially with your larger files, use Handbrake. And that is it for the editing part. Now I'm going to go over three more websites that you need to be aware of. And these are websites where you can get royalty-free images. Now, when you're using images for your course or for your programs, you should not be using any images that you just download off of Google. So here it's much better to use royalty-free images, and you can use these for free. The one that I use the most is called Unsplash, unsplash.com. And you can search that, and you can create a free account. You don't need to have an account, and you can be able to download some images. So let's go ahead and just talk about bridges. Let's say you want an image of a bridge that's going to be your course cover or something along those lines. Knowing that you're going to probably be doing this as a 16:9 format, you most likely will be working more with the horizontal images rather than the vertical images. Now, there are some images that are called Unsplash Plus, and those are the ones that you do have to pay for. So go ahead and pick whichever one you like. As an example, let's do this Golden Gate Bridge one. I'm just going to click on it, go to the upper right-hand corner, hit the download button, and then it appears up here. I'm going to actually move it to my background on the right-hand side here. And there's the image, and I can go and X out of that. I can X out of that as well. And then at that time, I can go to Canva and upload the image. So I'm inside Canva. I'm going to do create a design. I'm going to go the one with a presentation, 16:9. I can move the image over. This will be part of my uploads. And now I also have a free account here. And now I'm just going to widen these images. And now that's going to be my saved image. Now, how I like to do things, if you saw all of my courses earlier, is I would go in here, add a square, go out and cover up the entire image. I'll go in there, pick on the color. I'm going to usually go with the black. And then I go to the 3 dots, and where this checkerboard is, this is what they call transparency. It's mistakenly called that. This is actually it's opaque, but I'm going to knock it down to 60. That's the number I typically use. I'll go to text, add a subheading. This is my we'll just call it course on bridges and other architects. So I'm just coming up with whatever name I want to come up with. I have Grammarly, so I do get that little red underline. There it is. And I'm going to put a spacing there. I'm going to go with hit Control A. Click out because it caught everything. I just want to be the text, Control A. I'm going to go to, say, size 80 font. Go to 3 dots. I'm going to go to position. Put it in the middle. I have my own logo. On all of my courses, I have my own logo. As you can see, I have quite a few images here. I'm going to type in the word logo because I named it logo. I'll put it wherever I want. Doesn't really matter. Shrink it down to size. Just put it right there. Now I can go to share, go below the copied link and hit the download button. They're suggesting that we should do this as a PDF. I don't want it to be a PDF. I want it to be a JPEG, and hit download. Now this original image, I'm going to go ahead and get rid of. I don't need it anymore. I'm going to get this, drag it over. And I'm going to minimize this and minimize that and get rid of that. And go and click on that. And there's my course cover. As you can see, it's a beautiful course cover. Very easy to get to Canva. Put this box on top, make it stretch it out, and then come up with a title, capitalize the words as they should be. I like to put my logo on the course, on my course covers, just to kind of copyright it. So that's how you do that. And so let me give you the other 2 websites that you can use. Now, besides Unsplash, and because I downloaded so many images off of Unsplash, I did create an account, and I did become a contributor. So at the time of this recording, I've got 190 photos that I've uploaded onto Unsplash here. At the time, also at the time of this recording, in the last 30 days, I've had 162,541 views and 982 downloads. If I go to the all-time, I just passed 3 million views, and I'm just shy of 15,000 downloads. So 15,000 people, or 15,000 of my photos, and they could be repeat photos, obviously, have been downloaded to other people's programs book covers, whatever. And the funny thing is, I'm constantly on the lookout when I see other people do stuff. Is I want to see, hey, did you download one of my images? Are you using my image that I loaded up? Anyway, besides Unsplash, the next one that you can have is called Pexels, Pexels.com. Now, this is just like Unsplash. You can go and type in the word a bridge. Most likely, you're going to get other images. Most photographers do not go and put their images on more than one website. So you will see other bridges that you could use. Now, one thing about Pexels that Unsplash doesn't do, it also has like up to 10 to 20-second videos that you can download as well. These will be completely without any audio though. And I've used some of those as well. So let's go to Bridge for the videos, and let's go with this one here. Oh, this one might. So if you want a pan shot of a video of a bridge, this is going to be like what, 15 seconds long? 15 seconds long. So that is pexels.com. The other one is called pixabay.com. Pixabay is another one that you can use. I'm going to say the word bridge again, just to show you that they are all different images. Now, the use of this top row are going to be ones that you actually have to buy. So that you may want to ignore those. But here's a royalty-free ones, and these are going to be other bridges that you could do as well, for whatever topic that you want. Now, this is also Pixabay does also go one step further than Pexels. They do have photos, they have illustrations, as well as vectors, as well as videos. So let's go to illustrations. So if you rather have an illustration, then you can use these as well. So if you're doing more of a cartoonish type thing, then these are ones that you can use. And the last website I want to tell you guys about is one that's called remove.bg. So with remove.bg, what this does is it's actually you upload a picture of a person with a background, and it will erase that background. So let me see if I can find a picture real quick. Let's go to pictures. I'm going to get a picture of myself. Where is it at? Personal pics. Pics of me. Let's go to professional pics. I'm going to get, say, this photo right there. I'm going to move that over. And now I can download it. I'm going to move this to the background. Let's go back to Canva. Let's do a new one. And let's do, it doesn't matter what I use. I'm going to do a flyer this time. And I'm going to pick a background color. I'm going to pick any color. I'll pick one of my brand colors, pick purple, move my image over. And you can now see that the background was removed. So this is a great one if you do creating speaker one sheets, doing advertising, doing marketing campaigns, or doing things like that. The remove.bg will remove your background so that you can have, so let's say for an example, I'm going to turn the background back white. And let's say I put in a block, put in another block, doesn't matter the color. Let's say I'm making a speaker one sheet. There's going to be some text right there, and I could be there. I'll move myself to the front. And there you go right there. So that's remove.bg. Yes, you can remove it in Canva, but only for people who have the paid version. You cannot do it in the free version. So for those of you that are looking to go the cheaper route, yes, you can use remove.bg for free. If you have the paid version of Canva, you can do it. You can do it there as well. So that's basically it. I'm going to go ahead and does anybody have any questions either on the Facebook chat? I don't see any questions on there. I do not know what you mean by N165 plus. And you
Sorry,
can-
that was a typo playing with my grandchild.
Oh, okay.
Sorry.
Now, if you feel like you learned, did you learn anything from this event?
Yeah, it was very helpful actually. I got a lot of notes here, so I really appreciate it.
Okay. Now, I do ask for people because I've just started doing this just recently. If you feel like you got a good education from this, I'm going to put this in the chat. If you this is my Google My Business review page. If you feel like you learned something, if you could leave a 5-star review, maybe say a little something about the education, that would be really helpful for me. And also this recording will be in our classroom. Thank you. And what is your name? Because I don't think your first name is not Appliance.
Yeah, so yeah, definitely not. It's Raheem.
Ryan, okay, thank you, Ryan. Well, thank you, Ryan, for sharing, and thank you for coming. Now, I am going to be Raheem. Okay, I am going to be coming up with some more courses. That's going to be on Meetup.com. I will also be on LinkedIn events, and also on Facebook events. I do have another event coming up. Our next event is going to be a webinar that we have called. A roadmap for business success. That's going to be coming up on Thursday at 3:00 Eastern. And I don't know why it's not on Meetup. I'm going to go and put it on Meetup later on today. But you're more than welcome to come to that. That will be a scripted webinar that is 2 hours long. This was more interactive because anybody could have stopped me, if you had any questions. And if you don't have any questions, I do appreciate your time. If you do, please ask them now.
No, thank you. I've got a lot to fiddle with. I'm actually looking to do some train, or I guess create some content around the stock market and just investing in general. So just creating some beginner content on that stuff. So and I'm thinking I'm going to be leaning towards more so screen sharing and slideshow.
Okay. Yeah, the screen share is perfect for you just showing something on your computer. Like that's most of this training was on the screen share. Right now, I'm doing what's called the bobbing head version.
Right.
So, but I want to make sure everybody knows the difference between a screen share versus a PowerPoint. Because a PowerPoint, you could just be sharing a PowerPoint presentation and talking over it. That would be a screen share. Where the slideshow, you stretch and shrink the slide as needed. Those take a lot more time because you got to go to Unsplash, go to Canva, create all those slides, put them into a PowerPoint presentation, and then you record the video. Excuse me, the audio. So those take about 4 or 5 times as long to create the slideshows, just because each step is individual step.
Makes sense.
Okay. Well, Raheem, thank you for joining us today, and come back and see us again on one of our future classes.
Very good. Thank you so much. I appreciate it, Kevin.
My pleasure. Have a good rest of your day.
You too.